Hey guys, welcome back to Talking Trophies. We've got a new and a special episode for you guys today. We're going to be involved on the Black Lives Matter protest. It's going to be sick, it's going to be a vibe. I think it's a good thing for us to stand out as, an Australian African community, and also along with the Indigenous community and other white Australians to stand up for what is right. There's been an ongoing issue in Australia with this topic. There's been injustice acts against Indigenous people here. There's been racism caused against African communities in Australia, and even just racism in general as a whole. I think we should put it to a stop, and I think it's a good thing that we're coming out showing our support, showing our love. So yeah, stay tuned for the episode. We're going to be doing interviews, which is going to be sick. We're going to be having a lot of guests today, so bare guests, so stay tuned for those. We're going to be looking at not just from one point of view, we're going to try and see if we can get people from all point of views to see what their thoughts on Black Lives Matter is.
Pretty much walking down Burke Street.
Recording.
We're in Australia.
Yeah.
That's good.
This is not Minneapolis. This is Australia. We're emphasizing the impacts of Indigenous that have been killed in custody, and we're showing our solidarity to America and to the Indigenous. That's what I'm saying. Australia has a history against Indigenous people, the traditional owners of the land, and we're showing that we are united with them together, and we're standing with them together today. Show the flag, boys.
No justice, no peace, no racist, no peace. No justice, no peace, no racist, no peace.
We pay our respects to the Indigenous individuals that lost their lives in police custody. Here's a list of some of their names.
If you have one message you can convey about the Black Lives Matter movement, what would it be?
Man, the one message would be we got to work together, man, despite our differences. That's about it, man.
Come together. You want to tell them something quickly about the deaths in custody of the Indigenous people?
I'm not an Indigenous person myself, therefore I don't believe that it's my subject to speak on.
But do you think it's unjust?
I think it's fucked up. I think it's awful.
With everything going on in the world right now, what is one message you really want to convey to the world?
This right here.
Racism born is a choice. Know that, if you're son, I need you to understand how painful it is. You're reminded that your race means nothing every day. I'm fucking over it. I'm done.
Yeah, go hard.
I'm done. I'm done being the co-star of everyone's life. I'm done not meaning anything to anyone here. I'm over it. I'm done. And we're not going to explain and educate you guys anymore. You do the work. Do it yourself.
My name is Mariki Onus and I'm from the Warriors of the Aboriginal Resistance and my nations are the Gunai and Wooditjmara people, and I was one of the organisers of today.
How do you feel after seeing today's event? Such a peaceful event, people of all races coming together and acknowledging people, as well as showing solidarity to the people in America, African Americans.
I feel really good about it. I've been with the people standing for the end Black death in custody for a really long time, so it's really good to see the movement grow. But I hope it can move beyond and show solidarity at protests. And another hope that I came out, I just hope that all Black experiences are so unique across the globe, not just here in the US. And I just really hope that everybody's experience was heard, even though not everyone got to speak.
All right, how do you feel that the viewers listening to this contribute? Is there any websites they can go to? Is there any pages they can like, or share, or follow?
I mean, you can like our page at Warriors of the Aboriginal Resistance, but we've got to get more organised. I think the action is that we've got to get more organised to destroy white supremacy that lives in our communities, and we can't do it with the state. The state have shown their intention, they're violent, they're going to kill our people by default because they were founded on white supremacy and colonialism. So to destroy white supremacy is actually how you do it.
There's one message you can convey to the world right now. What would it be?
Black Lives Matter.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't.
You got one message you can convey about the Black Lives Matter movement. What would it be?
Well, we need equal injustice, as political and people, equal, so many races in these places, you know what I'm saying? So all we want is justice, and I hope we work together and respect each other. That's all we want.
And if you say you stand behind us, if you say you stand with us in solidarity, I would say look at your surroundings. Are you surrounded by mainly your own kind, or are you actually including us in your work? So for me, as an artist, I am passionate about inclusion and including Black people and Indigenous people in Australia into like all the artworks that we do. So, for example, like one of the biggest, shows that long-going shows is Neighbours and Home and Away, right?
Yeah.
So they've been lacking for a very long time. It's been going on for like over 35 years, but they've been lacking inclusion, right?
Yeah.
And when they do have people of color in there, they're usually stereotyped, criminalized, and that's the problem is that it's not that they're not putting people of color on screen. It's that they're telling someone else's voice. You know what I mean? It's not an accurate representation. So they need to have people of color in the writers' room. They need to have people of color in front of the camera, behind the camera, and at least like if you can't do it justice yourself, at least get a consultant. You know what I'm saying?
That's so good, bro.
And again, I think like if you just give us the chance, we'll thrive in any area.
Well, one thing that I can say is that it's a tough time right now, and the best possible thing that we can do is to stick together. So we're stronger together than definitely apart. And I appreciate that.
And me, at the end of the day, all bleed blood, the same color. So why is my skin a problem to you?
At the end of the day, we all are one. We're always going to stay together no matter what. We're going to sacrifice together. We're always going to be there for each other. If we fall down right now, we're going to end up building up together. We're going to be good as one at the end of the day, and we're always going to have each other's back. Because at the end, we're all Black here, and we're always going to
convey is just having a look around and seeing all the young people front to back. So many people out here, Gen Z, a lot of millennials out here as well. I think the message I want to convey for everyone is our parents have failed us, and that's the harsh reality. It's now up to us to create a world.
One second, please. Right back.
Create a world.
Feed, and then we just finished and wrapped up for the day. It's been a long day, tiring, but so energizing. I think it was a powerful day, and I think it had a lot of influence behind it. I think I can speak just for myself. Just like today was really empowering. I think we not only learned a lot about like Indigenous communities and what they go through in Australia, but like as a whole, what Black communities are going through. It's a lot more deeper than what you see in the media and what people share to you and what people express. But to see a unity in pain, I think it's one thing. I think it's just our nations are just crying for help. So I think it's just crazy. It's just like a crazy thing. It was a laugh. There's so many laughs, so many cries. You know what I mean? So I think it was good, and that was for me. I think a highlight for me was just hearing what the Indigenous had to speak about, like in regards to the prison system they got there. So in like a lot of Western, like Perth, Northern Territory, I learned about like a lot of police brutality. Once they're already arrested, once the crime was committed, like they're getting like some of them are diabetic, they have like conditions, and they're not giving like medical treatment. They end up dying under custody, which is like it's crazy to think that this is happening in our own land where we go like, wow, we're in such a blessed country. This is that, but it goes to show that there's a lot more darkness behind the light.
Bro, why do you always start off killing them? Like, the standards
That's
always
too
high
high,
every
yeah.
time, bro.
And you turn your Damien speak, and you know how I do it.
Will probably go down as a memory was I never really understood how hard that Indigenous people were doing it in Australia. I always thought that Indigenous people were doing, like, just had it the same as us, or, for example, I was ignorant, to be honest, to the fact that Indigenous people were suffering. I knew they were suffering as a population, but I didn't know like how deep it was. in custody. 402 people dying in custody, and no officer got convicted. That's crazy. You know what I mean? You trip out at the fact that's happening. So that was good to learn, and the fact that after all that, they're still happy to say, you know, Black Lives Matter. They're still happy to support, you know, and the African Americans stand with them. And they're coming together and they're saying, look, you know what happened was wrong, and we stand with you. And I'm just hoping, as I was when we interviewed one of the ladies that was actually hosting the protest, that she's, you know, it doesn't want this to be something that's just a trend. You know, trends come and go on Twitter. If you see a trend right now, if I refresh my trend, it's gonna go away. But the fact that it's something that's gonna be constantly remembered, like I hope that is, you know, like now that I'm aware of the situation of the Indigenous people, I'm hoping to support them, you know, however I can, whenever, if there's, you know, an event or if they need a petition to be signed, I'm happy to help them from now on. What I also learned is I realized I'm not gonna put pressure, and I know that cancelling culture is heavy nowadays. If someone can get cancelled overnight, but like, what are the Australian celebrities doing? You know what I mean? Like one standing out. You know what I mean? Like I feel like we do need a Colin Kaepernick. Like I remember the last memory I have of like someone that stood out was
a boxer.
For me it was Harry O'Brien.
I was the guy from Hawthorne.
Who was that?
That was the guy that in the game where he was getting like racist chants.
Oh, Adam Goods.
No, I forgot his name, but he lifted up his shirt.
Oh, I guess
he pointed to his
skin.
They're
calling him a monkey, and he was sitting on his skin saying, "Yeah, I'm black." Yeah,
and I think that was like that was the only time, and
I feel like we need Colin Kaepernick in Australia for the Indigenous people.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You know, look, we as a minority, I'm thankful. You know what I mean. And there, Australia's my home. I was born here. I don't know nothing more than Australia. I've been to other countries in the world, and every trip I come back to Australia saying this is the best country on earth. Like, nothing's gonna take that away from me. But like, I feel like someone needs to stand up from the athletes more, and instead of demonizing and like going against them, say, you know what, give them a go. Because like, you know what this morning headline was on the news. I'm not gonna call out the journalist, but she's like on this day, the day today, bro. She's like, protester or organizer of Melbourne protest says Australia should burn. Something she said 2018 or something like that. I'm like, on the day you had to bring it up, I retweeted, I put it out. I'm like, I tweeted, some lady said that, and I retweeted it too. But I'm like, yo, like, you know what I mean? Why is it that's being, and that was the headline. As soon as you open the website, that was the headline. Like, you know what I mean? And the fact that they're being cancelled out like that is just crazy. But the thing I'd say to summarize my day was, you know what, I learned a lot about the Indigenous people, and I'm hoping to take this memory with me and acknowledge the traditional owners of the land. I'd probably say that.
Shout out all the people from this episode, actually.
Oh.
All the people we shouted out, all the artists. We had so many people involved, like people that we interviewed.
The interviewed people, of course. We gotta give them straight love.
Yeah, straight up.
Like the fact that we came to them and they just said yes straight away. Some of them, I didn't even finish what I was saying. They're like, yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, that's crazy love. So, you know what I mean? And that's what we're talking. That's what Talking Trophies is about. You know what I mean? Giving people the platform to speak about what they do. You know, speak about what they feel. That's Melbourne.
It's a lead mentality.
Stay humble, faith.
Stay blessed, man.